The adventure continues in Kurdistan as we leave Dukan Lake and head further west to Sulaymaniyah, where we pay a visit to the Red Jail Museum and learn about the atrocities of Saddam Hussein. Parts of this story make for some difficult watching, but it's certainly an important part of history. Ultimately, 1.4 million Kurdish people fled. Morning, Lucy.
Morning.
What you got for breakfast?
Figs and dates.
Iraqi specials. So this morning we are going to leave Lake Dukan and ride just over an hour further southeast towards Sulaymaniyah. There's a museum there where we can learn all about Saddam Hussein and the terrible things he did for the country. And after that we're going back to Erbil this evening.
Ready, and go and standing. Ooh, bike is bottoming out. Ooh. Okay, you did it. Good work. And we're out. Oh, that was a great camp, wasn't it, Luce?
Great camp.
Beautiful
Hot camp.
view. A hot camp, but luckily we had a bit of breeze in the night, so it was bearable. But hard to sleep when it's so hot. And we are back on the road. Okay, we've got just over an hour. 75 kilometers. Lucy?
Yeah.
This is Sulaymaniyah. We've seen it spelled 3 different ways, right?
Yeah. Sulaymaniyah.
Or Sulaymaniyah. Sulaymaniyah, Sulaymaniyah. But most of the signs say Sulaymaniyah.
For the taxis it says Sulaymaniyah.
Yeah. Anyway, we're here, and it looks like a pretty damn big city actually.
In the middle of a desert.
43 degrees. I think this is it. It's somewhere here. Right, this is the Red Jail Museum. We go this way. Park here. Okay. Okay. Alright, here we go then, Luce. The Red Jail Museum.
Alright then.
So we've come to the Red Jail Museum here in the center of Sulaymaniyah to find out about Saddam Hussein and the things he did for the country, against the country, and generally in his time in power here in Iraq. So this compound is actually called Amna Suraka, which means Red Prison. And from 86 till the early 90s, it was the headquarters of the Mukbarak, which was the Iraq's Central Intelligence Division. This compound was used as a prison and also a place to torture the Kurds during the attempted genocide by Saddam Hussein. So between 1986 and 1989, the Iraqi state, under the direction of Saddam Hussein, carried out the campaign known as Anfal, which was a genocidal campaign against the Iraqi Kurds. Then in early March 91, after years of this genocide going on, the Kurds started a popular uprising against the Iraqis, and they managed to drive them out for a short time. But the Iraqi regime retaliated, and with severe military action they were able to retake a lot of Kurdistan, and that led to the mass exodus of the Kurds. Ultimately, 1.4 million Kurdish people fled to Iran, Europe, and even America. It's unbelievable. All of these photos are from this mass exodus, just showing the people as they fled to the mountains with whatever they could carry with them. Women, children, men. The Anfal genocidal campaign carried out against the Kurds went from February to August 1988, and it was done in 8 stages. Systematically, the Anfal operations took cities and towns and villages across the country, including the use of chemical weapons in some areas. The names on these walls are the missing children. There are 9,400 names of missing children on these walls who were never found after the Anfal operations.
When people died in prison, sometimes they were left to rot inside the hallway, and they used to feed them to the dogs to train them to eat human flesh.
This is the Hall of Mirrors. These above are 4,500 light bulbs, each one representing a village that was destroyed during Al-Anfal, and there are 182,000 shards of glass on the walls representing each and every person that was killed during the operation. This prison compound is where they would bring the Kurdish people to torture them, imprison them, and just treat them like animals, to be honest. This is one of the prison cells, and they would have up to 40 people in here. It's tiny. It's just a room with one toilet. 40 people in here. And there's writing and inscriptions all over the walls from the prisoners.
My name is Musin, jailed on one of the corners of this cell. I was detained at home. I was only 15 years old. They changed my age to 18 to be executed.
These are the solitary rooms, but they'd often put more than one person in, but they're so small. There were these hidden microphones everywhere so that they could listen to the prisoners. This is like the main prison cells, and they keep up to 150 people in here at any one time. And these are the toilets. But they'd often use these toilets as cells. There would be so many people in here that they couldn't all sleep at one time. So while some were sleeping, the others had to stand up in the corner and they'd take it in turns. This is where the women were kept, up to 50 of them, some of whom were pregnant and delivered their babies here, and then the babies were used as a way to torture the women. So they'd take their babies away from them until they would admit to committing crimes that they never actually did.
We are in the Department of Torture. There's 3 rooms specialised for different torture methods.
They would put people in this room and leave the doors open so that they would just have to sit here and listen to the moaning and screams and yells of pain from the people being tortured in the rooms nearby. So this was like psychological torture. This room was where they hung people and electrocuted them and hit them with cables and burned them with irons. What an unbelievable place. More history that we should probably know about but didn't until we came here. So
It was a very tough place to walk around and
yeah, for sure.
history to read about.
Yeah. But I'm glad we came. I'm glad we know now.
We learnt a lot.
Yeah. Alright, it is unbelievably hot and it's time to get out of here. Headed back towards Erbil, but first some lunch. Bye bye! I can't touch anything on the bike that's metal without my gloves on. It's just too hot. It burns your hands. Because the bike
Right, we're saying goodbye to Sulaymaniyah, and we've got probably a 2.5 hour drive to Erbil, and we're heading back to Samad's house. Samad being the Erbil biker guy, who was kindly offered to host us for the night. Neither of us are particularly looking forward to this long and hot drive.
Join us next time as we attempt the risky Iraq visa trick by leaving our bike in Erbil and flying to Baghdad to collect our federal Iraq visa, then trying to take a bus back to Erbil. Things do not quite go to plan. We just don't want to put ourselves in any unnecessary risky situations. We've got to spend the next 4.5 hours in the lobby of this airport.